Welcome back, friends, to a very chilly day on the homestead. We woke up to 38 degrees. Mrs. W was asking last night, "You think it's going to freeze tonight?" Unbelievable. Crazy mountain weather, I guess. So I finished up, I spent the whole day yesterday building out the two boxes, the Illuminous boxes on the back of the adventure van, and there was a lot of folks that wanted me to share what it was that I put inside. Now, of course, everything's subject to change because, you know, every fighter has a plan until he gets hit in the nose. So what typically happens is you get out and you start camping and you start doing your adventures and you find out this works, this doesn't work. So this is just in my mind what's going to be the best case scenario, and it may change. So let's start with a kitchen box. So I'm just going to go through the process of kind of what we would do when we roll up to a place. Because a lot of the stuff with the new bumper and the new kitchen setup I haven't used before, so I want to kind of go through the whole deal so I can see if there's any issues. But what we're going to do is we're going to set up the awning. This is a Fiamma, is it the F45? It's just a manual awning that sets up very quickly, and it's very nice, especially if you have redheads in the family who are not big fans of the sun. Gives them a little bit of a break. And being in the sun all the time is tiresome anyway. And if it rains or snows a little bit, it's very, very nice to have an awning. And these are really great. You can stake them down and all that. We may have to do that here. It's a little bit windy. With the awning set up, now we can deploy the kitchen. And of course, these pin back, so you don't have to worry about them blowing around or swinging into the side of the van. My goal in doing this is just to make things a lot easier for Mrs. W, so she's, there's not a bunch of messing around when we have to cook. And I wanted to have her to have all of her things in here easily accessible. So this is what I came up with so far. This is our butane cooker. I always open it upside down. These are really great. They just take the little fuel bottles here, the butane. They're 15, 20 bucks. They've got their own igniter on them. They're really hot. They're just a really great economy one burner stove. And they come in the case is always nice too. It kind of protects it. It's not the most high quality case, but if you take care of it, seems to hold up pretty good. So we'll either cook with that or a combination of that and our little grill. The grill we typically use more than anything that we can cook steaks or whatever you want to, hamburgers on there. So I built this little cutting board, and what I ended up doing was just cutting some closet pole for little legs. I wanted it to stand off of this latch. The measurement came out to 16 by 20, roughly. And that gives plenty of room here where we can have the gas grill, or we can even put the little butane cooker on there if we want to. And the fuel bottles store underneath the cutting board down there. I was going to mount this permanently, but I know how I change things, and I'm reluctant to start drilling holes in this nice box until I know for sure exactly what I want. So I think it'll work out pretty good. This up here, yeah, that's a post office box. Does that make you mad? I just put that in there just to carry some stuff over, but once she gets organized, she'll have all of her stuff out there, plates and salt and pepper and all the such, and there's plenty of room for butane and all that. So then we'll have the water up here on top. And you're just going to have to imagine those blue, you've seen them, those 5-gallon water jugs at Walmart deals with the little spout on them. This is designed for 2 of those up there. Probably only put 1 up there, maybe a lantern or something else. So she'll have that water. We have 30 gallons inside in the sink inside for cooking inside in the wintertime, or showers and all that stuff. But it's just more convenient to have it out here. So this is really going to be a nice kind of all-in-one outdoor little galley setup for Mrs. W. We have a little REI folding table that sits right here for additional prep. While she's setting up and starting cooking, then I'll set up our camp chairs, and we have a little table, and we have just a really kind of a comfortable place to hang out that we can kind of deploy really quickly. So that's kind of how the galley is going to work out. Now let me show you my box, the toolbox. Now this box here is the same as the other one dimensionally, but different in that it opens from the side, because I didn't need a worktop or a countertop. The reason why you could orient it either way, and the reason why I had it swing out this way is if if I have a trailer or something, if it hinges this way, I couldn't get into it. So I thought this would just be more handy. If I change my mind, I can flip it over. So this was primarily what I was thinking was a generator. You know, I wanted to carry a generator. I'm not super into solar panels. They don't really work very well in the winter time when it's snowing. They don't work at all. When you're camping, usually you don't want to park out in the sun and cook yourself, so you park in shady spots or under a tree, rendering your solar panels ineffective. The best solution to date, in my opinion, is a Honda 2000. You can start the thing up, no problem. So what I decided to put in here was I've just got some rope. I've got the Honda 2000, obviously. I've got retrieval stuff. So this is my Bubba rope. This is what you can use for pulling folks out. We use this a couple times in the winter time, so it's nice to have. The Honda fits in there nice and easy. It's very simple to get out. Some folks ask about whether we could set it up to make the Honda run inside here. Yeah, we can. I'm looking into that. We might do something like that. I've got a space blanket here, which I've turned into a shower curtain, and I'll show you this maybe when we get everything all set up at the Overland Rally. So when the doors open in the back, I put little tabs on there. We can stretch this shower curtain or this space blanket across the back of the doors it's got a couple little tiny carabiners on there, and have a privacy screen because we have the hot running water, the shower out the back of the back box, and then we can wash your hair or just clean up and have some privacy for the space blanket, or if you need to crawl underneath a vehicle and work on something, you know, you're not getting all dirty. It's good to have a space blanket. I've got a 25-foot heavy power cord that will plug into the shore power into the van. So I have an inverter charger in here, so if the batteries get low, I can start the generator, and that will charge almost 30 amps, I believe. It charges really quickly. Nice thing about lithium batteries is that you can just pour power into them. They charge very fast. So this is the cord for that. And then behind there, I just threw in my small forest axe and a Silky Big Boy for any firewood or cutting things like that. It's not overly cramped. I don't overly stuff things in if I can help it. You may have noticed that I have the Canoe on there. The Canoe is the Sea Eagle inflatable canoe. It came with this pump, and it's a 12-volt pump, and so I keep that. That's really handy in case I need to deflate that or whatever. I've got a Amp 3 from Dave Pruitt, a super capable first aid kit that fits in there. And then I've got the factory bottle jack that came with the van in case we have a flat tire. I do have a full-size spare. I figured out how to mount it underneath there. I have locking differentials, Eaton True Tracks front and rear. I know. For the technical four-wheel drive guys, it's not a full locker. I know. It's basically the same locker they put in Humvees for the military. It's really a good locker. And then in here I have just a small tool kit. It's got some wrenches and different things, tire patch kits. I've got the charger cable for the battery. I've got, you know, the emergency flare flasher beacons. I've got the spikes for the awning, you know, just little knickknacks and things that I put in these Home Depot bags to kind of keep everything orderly. I like to have things in bags. I've got my jump starter, the lithium jump starter in case I get a battery. It's kind of redundant because I'll never run out of power. We have the generator, I have the lithium backup, you know, so just in case. I had a dead battery camping one time, and I was at the mercy of someone else. I never want that to happen again. Catadyne water filter, I threw that in there, and then a small trauma kit with a flashlight. Again, this is subject to change. Oh, also these guys. So these are ramps. It's not very nice to sleep at an angle or canted, and these are pretty handy to have. You can pull them up on your wheel. You can basically level your deal, and they nest together very nicely. So all of this stuff before was in the cab. It was underneath the seat, and we had no room for anything. It was really a hassle, so everything is out. It's really nice. I got the van's pretty much ready to go, and there's nothing inside. Everything's empty, so we can just put our personal things in there, and we're really getting it dialed. So that's kind of how I laid this guy out here. Some folks were asking about these hooks on the side. These hooks are for boards. We have surfboards and stand-up paddle boards that we will carry. We used to throw them inside, and they get all wet and sandy, and they get sand in your bed, and you're tripping over them. They're just a huge hassle. So when I had the rack, when I was designing the rack, I had these, had them make these hooks for me. And the hooks, now we can lay a 12-foot board in there. We can actually carry 3 boards on the outside. We'll put one in the bottom, and then we stack the other on top of it and just use some kayak straps and just ratchet down, or just strap them down to the bar and the ladder, and they ride great there. So I'll show you how I set the Canoe up. So those of you who follow my Instagram page saw that my Canoe almost fell off the other day because I didn't have it strapped properly. So what I did up here was and again, this may change, I'm just trying stuff out. This is a piece of that track, or the track that I have inside for everything mounted, and they have these quick spring-loaded rings that you can add or subtract. And so I just bolted a couple small pieces of that to the rail. When I had this rack, this is built by Aluminess. The whole rack is 300 pounds. It's all 100% aluminum, so it's super, super light. And that's really important when you have all that weight up high like this. You don't even hardly notice it because it's so light. So now we have a floor in here so that we can, if we're at events or different things, sometimes we'll put our chairs up here. You can see over the crowd, or concerts or different things. There's lots of, we'll even think about maybe putting a tent up here, you know, who knows. But the Canoe, as you saw, I had the hard rubber neoprene rollers put on there so that we could roll them up, and then it's all tied down and everything inside. So all the paddles are all in there. We have a waterproof bag for all the life jackets and throw ropes and all those things. So it's all about getting things out of the cab, because that's our living space and we just don't want anything in there. So that rides up there nice. And that's a pretty good mounting system. I was thinking about maybe just getting a full length rail, like maybe an 8-footer, and just running it right down the center, and then I can just move those rings to wherever I want, and I can lash stuff down really easily. So that's kind of what I came up with yesterday. Again, we'll see how it goes. We're going to be, as you know, we're heading out today for the Overland Expo in Leavenworth, Washington. There's going to be some really cool stuff there. I'm looking forward to see what guys come up with and get some own ideas for myself. To be in that environment would be super fun, and we'll be doing a lot of videos. We'll be uploading daily, and I'll share with you all the cool stuff I found. There's been a lot of folks who are asking about, aren't you concerned about weight? No, I've been very, very careful with weight in designing this whole thing. That's why I put an aluminum rack on there. That's why the whole rear box system, everything is aluminum. That's why I built a very lightweight bed, all aluminum. You know, there isn't hardly any steel in the whole thing. This is not a passenger car. This is a 1-ton pickup, a truck. These are rated to have 15 passengers with the seats in them. So, I mean, that's 3,000 pounds plus the seats, which are exceedingly heavy. What have I added? I mean, I've added a 300-pound rack on the top. I've added a bed that weighs, 50 pounds, 60 pounds. I've added a 30-gallon water tank. There's a few things inside. I've used lithium batteries, so I don't have the heavy batteries. I mean, I just haven't added that much. So is weight a concern? No, I mean, it's a 1-ton truck. I mean, it's gonna have weight in it. And you can imagine how much it would weigh. I mean, when Ford is designing these things and they're thinking, well, we're going to have 15 passengers in one of these, if they're selling these in America, I mean, what is the average weight? They're probably, the engineers are always default on the safe side. What are they figuring? 200, 225 pounds per passenger if you had a bunch of big guys, oil crew workers that are shuttling back and forth. So yeah, the weight issue, it's not an issue. I've got airbags in the back. I'm very conscious of the weight, so don't lose any sleep over it. Everything seems to be fine so far. So we're going to get loaded up. It is, let's see, 8 o'clock. We're going to try to get out of here in about 2 hours. We'll see if that happens. Usually we are an hour after our departure date, but we'll bring you guys along. We're really looking forward to it, and it'd be interesting to see how everything works out. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these, don't forget to click the thumbs up, and we'll see you guys on the next video.